What's going on, guys? It's Vin. Wanted to bring you guys a little story time today, just a childhood story. This was more from high school than childhood, I would say, probably like 10th grade. But we used to go and explore a lot of abandoned buildings and things like that. So one in particular that we were exploring, I won't mention the name of it, but we'll just say it was a junkyard. So to get to the junkyard, we'd have to sneak out of my house, which I had a basement, and we would just slip down to the basement and go out the cellar doors. They were two really big, loud metal cellar doors, but if one of us opened each one of them, then we could open them pretty quietly and slip out. And there was a river that ran along the road beside my house, so as long as you stayed near the river, you couldn't really hear like the footsteps or anything. My mom was also up on the second floor, and the basement's obviously down on the bottom floor, so she wasn't really hearing too much of anything going on anyway. But the rest of the trip to the junkyard was probably like 2-3 miles of a walk. And it was a super peaceful walk. The whole way it was just right along the river. So to get to this junkyard, we would scale the side of the building to get to the second floor, climb through this hole that was in the floor, and work our way down to the doors where we would unlatch it and let ourselves in. And we did this several times. We came out with various tools, with a bunch of like bike parts or just car parts that we wanted in time. We also ended up finding like $150 that was stored under a cash register, and this was probably, I would say, 6-8 years ago maybe. So this has been quite a long time. I think the building's actually tore down and completely no longer existing now. But at the time, it was not in business. It was just a ran down old place, and a lot of kids used to go and like smash up the vehicles and stuff that were in this area. But we just used to go for fun, explore around. That was mainly our goal, was to like just see what we could find. A lot of times we would just go and with not even the goal of taking anything. It was weird. It was almost like an adrenaline rush for us. Like, can we go in and get in the building and not get caught? So fast forward, we'd probably went 3 or 4 times, and like I said, we know that at least several other were going and smashing vehicles, doing things like that, but I'm sure a couple other were going in the building. So me and 2 other friends of mine, it was typically just me and my one best friend growing up. I won't throw his name out there, but him and a friend of ours decided to all trudge along our long walk to go to the junkyard one night, and we heard some kind of like loud bang when we went, and it was weird because we always went in the middle of the night, like 2-3 in the morning. We would like sneak out of my house, and my mom wasn't very attentive about that stuff. She was kind of busy doing her own thing, to say the least. So we would go out and do stuff like this on the regular. And this night in particular, like I said, we heard a loud bang, and my one friend took off running, and he dropped his phone, and it shattered all over our path to get home. So he had to stop and pick up all the pieces. I don't know, we were pretty sketched out after that, and we used to go like several times a week, but we kind of stopped, and we didn't really go for maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. So fast forward 2 or 3 weeks later, we decided, we'll make one more trip just for old time's sake. And a lot of the times, the best part for us was the walk, because we were really just kind of going and traveling and, just talking to each other, talking about the things they had went through growing up, different stories of times with other friends that we had, or various things like that. So we continued on this walk, and we made our way there. And this time there was no sketchy noises. We scaled the side of the building, or I did, because I was typically the better one at climbing, so I would scale the building, work my way through the hole. It worked out that I was taller as well, because it was, I don't know, it was probably like a 10-foot ceiling, but you had to be at least like 5 or 6 foot tall to make this drop. You had to kind of like hang down and put your feet on this rack, and then step down from the rack onto a toolbox, and then down onto the ground, which was cement floor, so it's a sketchy jump. But I make my way down through this hole, and it's pitch black, by the way, 1:30 in the morning or so as normal. I hear a bang on the outside, and I get real like sketched out, because I'm on the inside of this building and I hear a bang. My buddy would normally never bang because he's smart enough to know not to make loud noises and draw attention to us when we're doing some stupid shit that we shouldn't be doing. Oh, by the way, I should say I don't condone any of this activity whatsoever. I think that it's dumb things that we did when we were kids, and we did it just to have fun, but it might have been fun in the moment, and we were lucky enough not to get caught, but that doesn't mean that you will be. We had fun doing it, but we also came from quite a weird environment. But that's all for another video. So back to the story. I heard the bang, like I was mentioning, I just got pretty freaked out. So I tried to get the doors open quick because I was just going to dart out at that point. I was like, okay, my buddy probably heard the bang too. He's probably waiting on me, at like a little rendezvous spot that we had. And I had pretty much decided that I was just going to bounce and wait for him at the rendezvous spot. And if nothing else, when I opened those doors, it was going to be him on the other side. But when I went to unlock the latch, they were actually chained and a lock had been placed on the doors. At that point, I scaled my way back up out of the hole and I darted out and started back up the path where we went. And our rendezvous point was only about 50 feet from the junkyard, just somewhere we're out of sight, kind of hidden away, tucked in the trees, But we met up there and me and him booked it back to our house and we had never went back after that. We didn't know if us taking the money had maybe alerted the person that we had been there, or maybe they had just got tired of so much bullshit of people going in and out. But the thing is, they never patched the hole up in the ceiling, to my knowledge, so I don't know. But like I said, I think this building is long gone by now. It probably no longer exists. So this is just a story of some stupid stuff old friend of mine used to do when we were in school, exploring abandoned buildings and having fun. That's going to pretty much wrap it up for this video, though. I know this was a short one, but if you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below if you'd like to see more story videos like this. Thank you all for watching as well, and it's been Ven. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.